What happens when the very foundations of your life, the things built on trust and sheer dedication, are just completely rocked by unexpected betrayal? How do you find the strength, not just to survive that moment, but to actually redefine your entire purpose? That's the extraordinary journey we're diving into today. Welcome to The Deep Dive. This is where we unpack compelling stories and try to pull out some profound insights for your own life. Today, we're exploring the remarkable narrative of Hanshi Deena Naidu. His personal odyssey is, it's a powerful testament to faith, perseverance, and the incredible act of reclaiming one's calling after facing some really deep adversity. Now, for those who might not be familiar, Hanshi Deena Naidu isn't just a master. He's truly in an elite class. Hanshi itself is an honorific title, right? It signifies a master teacher of the highest grade.
Exactly. And he stands as one of the highest graded masters of karate in the whole world. That's quite something.
It really is. He's also the 6th graduate of the Japan Karate College in Tokyo. And his expertise goes beyond karate, doesn't it? Into areas like Kihatsu.
Right, which is focused on spiritual development, sort of an awakening process.
And Reiki, which many people know as energy healing. And also SMA, spirit-mind awareness, which sounds like a very holistic approach to mental and spiritual harmony.
Absolutely. So we're talking about someone with really deep, multifaceted wisdom here, not just physical prowess.
So our mission in this deep dive is to dissect Hanshi Naidu's powerful journey. It's a story that it starts with really flourishing success, then descends into this period of deep, unexpected betrayal from people really close to him.
Yeah, the ones you'd least expect.
Exactly. And then it culminates in this powerful act of unwavering belief and a renewed, almost global purpose. This isn't just his personal tale, though. We want to look at the universal lessons here about leadership, about the fragile nature of loyalty.
And critically, how you find your way back, maybe even stronger, when everything just seems lost.
Okay, let's unpack this. To really get the resilience, we first need to understand the world he built before the fall. Hanshi Naidu's early career was, by all accounts, a real testament to his dedication. He built these thriving dojos, but they were more than just training halls, weren't they? They were like communities.
That's the impression you get. He genuinely believed he was taking the correct approach, as he put it.
Right. Not just teaching punches and kicks, but guiding students towards a deeper understanding of themselves. He actually says he genuinely cared for my students and introduced them to a life of purpose.
That phrase really jumps out, a life of purpose.
Integrating discipline, respect, spiritual growth into everything. He also successfully ran an independent school alongside his martial arts and kept a strong connection with his own teacher. He really seemed to embody that ideal of a dedicated master.
What's immediately striking about that initial success is how his approach went beyond just instruction. He wasn't merely imparting skills. He was cultivating a whole philosophical framework for living. That phrase, introducing them to a life of purpose, like you said, it really highlights that. It goes far beyond the dojo itself. And that holistic foundation is, I think, crucial for understanding everything that follows. It shows the depth of his commitment, the trust he built.
And it also sets the stage for how intense the betrayal must have felt.
Exactly. It wasn't just professional setbacks. It was a challenge to his entire way of being, the very core of his mission.
Absolutely. And underpinning all of this, kind of the bedrock of his resilience, was his foundational belief. He clearly lived by it. Never give up on God. Always believe in the power greater than ourselves.
That's key.
This wasn't just something he taught. It seems like it was his internal compass, the thing that would guide him through the really rough times ahead. But then the unthinkable happened. Hanshi talks about how unfounded accusations suddenly surfaced against him. And this is where the story takes a truly heartbreaking turn. The very students he says he cared for and shared my passion with eventually turned against me. They started doubting his integrity. He apparently advised them to just disregard the malicious claims, pointing out they came from someone with a known history of causing trouble.
But they didn't listen.
No. He says, my students questioned my character and began to disparage me. He even tried reminding them of their own world success achieved under his guidance, but it didn't seem to matter. They turned.
It's incredibly difficult dynamic to really wrap your head around, isn't it?
Yeah.
From a psychological angle, what's fascinating and also kind of disturbing is how quickly loyalty can just evaporate, especially when these malicious claims get thrown into the mix. They create this wedge of suspicion. It's not just the accusations themselves, but the willingness of people he'd nurtured, people whose lives he'd actively, enriched.
Right.
Their willingness to actually embrace doubt over years of shared dedication and positive experience. It's not a simple misunderstanding. It feels like a deep fracturing of trust, maybe fueled by external manipulation, like he suggested, rather than their own direct experiences with him.
That's right. And there's one specific example he gives that really, really drives home the depth of this betrayal. He talks about a student he treated like a son.
Oh, wow.
He recalls this incident where the student borrowed his car while Hanshi was away in India visiting his own spiritual teacher. The student then crashed the car. But Hanshi's immediate reaction wasn't about the car at all.
His concern was for the student.
Completely. His first and only thought was the student's well-being. He explicitly told him the car was of no consequence.
That shows incredible care, selflessness, really, putting the person way above any material thing.
Exactly. Now, contrast that profound affection with the student's reaction later on. When Hanshi eventually announced he was leaving the institution they had built, the student's response.
Let me guess. Not good.
Just 3 words. I don't care. Just like that. From someone he'd shown such, love and generosity towards, Hanshi says that his indifference all the more disheartening.
Wow. Yeah.
It really underscores how betrayal isn't always about a big dramatic action. Sometimes it's amplified by that emotional void, that callousness from people you've invested so much in.
That anecdote is it's such a powerful illustration of the emotional chasm betrayal creates. It's that stark contrast, isn't it, between this almost paternal, unconditional care and then just complete emotional detachment, utter coldness. When you pour so much of yourself into someone, prioritize them like that and get that back. It cuts deeper than any professional slight, surely.
Definitely.
This wasn't just teacher-student. It sounds like it was almost family.
Yeah.
And severing that speaks volumes about how destructive these unfounded accusations can be, how they warp perceptions and break even the strongest human bonds. It really makes you pause and think, have we ever misjudged someone's character that badly? Or had our own character misjudged so fundamentally?
So, faced with this profound shift, this deep betrayal, Hanshi Naidu made an incredibly difficult decision, but maybe a necessary one. He decided to relinquish everything, just let it go. He told his students they could assume control of the institution I built, and then he simply left.
Walked away from it all.
Yep. He and his family moved away to the Tambourine Mountains. They chose not to disclose our whereabouts, and for 6 months, they just lived a peaceful life, detached from the turmoil. It sounds like a real retreat, a period of forced healing away from all the noise and the pain.
It's like a necessary pause, isn't it? Almost a chrysalis phase, as you say. His intentional withdrawal wasn't surrender in a negative way, maybe more like a strategic retreat for self-preservation, for reflection. Mm-hmm. It allows for that recalibration. Sometimes the strongest move is actually stepping away from the chaos to gain perspective rather than just wading straight back in.
That makes sense.
And I bet that devotion to God you mentioned earlier played a huge role there, sustaining him during that isolation, helping him keep his inner compass when everything outside was just chaos.
It certainly seems like it did. The source really highlights that. Despite the significant hardship his family faced and the overwhelming pain he felt personally, his devotion to God remained unwavering. That faith was his anchor. It let him endure what might have completely broken someone else. And then, after those 6 months of quiet solitude, the turning point came. A senior student arrived at my doorstep, imploring me to return.
So not everyone had abandoned him.
Apparently not. And this wasn't just a casual, hey, come back. It was an earnest plea, a clear sign that maybe not all loyalty was lost, that for some, his true character had weathered the storm of accusation.
That must have been huge. External validation after all that doubt.
For sure. So Hanshi agreed. He and his family returned.
That moment feels really critical. It shows that despite the widespread doubt, there were still people who saw his true value, the value of his guidance. This senior student showing up kind of validates Hanshi's original path.
Yeah.
Maybe suggests those claims really were unfounded or at least not universally believed.
Yeah.
It's like the first sign of the tide turning back, a testament to the lasting impact of a true master, maybe.
I think so.
And it also speaks to how one person, even after a period of doubt, can kickstart that reversal.
Absolutely. And when he returned, Hanshi Naidu didn't mess around. He took decisive control, but he did it with a clear, principled approach. He gave those who had caused him suffering two simple options: to remain and follow my guidance, or to leave. That was it.
Clear choice.
Very. And the outcome was swift and unequivocal. They all chose to depart.
Wow. So they left.
They did. It wasn't about revenge, it seems, more about reestablishing integrity, trust, and clear leadership. Creating an environment where respect and shared purpose were, non-negotiable. And the resolution of this whole conflict is, well, there's a certain poetic justice to it. He says, ultimately, the individual responsible for the malicious accusations lost while I emerged victorious. And interestingly, while his former students lost their teacher, Hanshi gained new ones. Students who presumably genuinely valued his teaching and character. He also made a really crucial distinction at this point. He severed ties with my teacher's organization, but not with my teacher.
Ah, that is important.
Yeah, it highlights that profound difference between just like institutional loyalty and the actual enduring bond of true mentorship.
That's such a powerful demonstration of reclaiming your agency, isn't it? Defining your own terms after going through something so huge. It really speaks to the integrity of his purpose.
Yeah.
That he wasn't looking for some superficial plastering over of the cracks. He needed that solid foundation of trust and respect to move forward.
Right.
And separating from the organization, but not the teacher. That's incredibly insightful. It shows real wisdom in figuring out what truly matters, focusing on the quality, the authenticity of the connection over just the formalities or the bureaucracy of belonging to a group.
It's a good reminder.
Yeah, it reminds us that sometimes the institutions we're part of can get tangled up, maybe even corrupted, but those core principles, those individual relationships can still hold true.
And the culmination of all this hardship, this rebirth, it's truly inspiring. Hanshi Naidu has now embarked on a journey to share my knowledge with the global community.
So bigger than before.
Much bigger. He says he's now in a position where I can fulfill my purpose as I continue to serve humanity. Through all his work, karate, Reiki, SMA, Keihatsu, that initial vision he had introducing students to a life of purpose, it's like it's expanded exponentially now. It's transformed into a global mission.
Which is incredible.
This isn't just about bouncing back. It's about evolving, expanding his reach far beyond what he had before the crisis.
What's really remarkable there is that he didn't just recover back to where he was. He actually expanded his reach, redefined his impact.
Yeah.
His purpose became broader. It went from the local dojo to serving humanity on a global scale using multiple disciplines. It really underscores that idea that sometimes profound loss or betrayal can actually be a potent catalyst.
Right.
It can push you towards an even greater mission, force you to look beyond your immediate circle and see a wider calling. Mm-hmm. It's a powerful testament to the idea that true purpose, once it's really tested like that, can emerge even stronger, more expansive.
So, okay, what does all this mean for us? For you, the listener, in your own life? Hanshi Naidu's entire journey really seems to exemplify that guiding principle he holds. To surrender to God while persevering, never relinquishing my commitment to my craft.
That balance is key.
It really is. It's not a passive giving up. It's more like an act of trust in something bigger, combined with this relentless, disciplined dedication to his path.
Right? It's a paradox almost. Spiritual letting go and unwavering personal effort together.
Yeah. And that blend seems like a powerful framework for navigating our own personal storms. His story offers so many useful lessons, I think. It's definitely testament to the power of inner strength, that deep-seated faith when everything outside is just chaos. It reminds you that sometimes the only thing you can control is your own inner compass, right?
Absolutely.
It also underscores how vital self-belief and integrity are, especially when people you trusted start questioning you. Holding firm to your truth can eventually lead to vindication.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, Hanshi's story isn't just about martial arts, is it? It's a really powerful narrative about leadership, about integrity, and about the sheer courage it takes to rebuild your world when the foundations just feel shattered. It highlights that critical difference between an organization and real mentorship, that the essence of genuine guidance isn't tied to a building or a name, but to that deep, respectful relationship itself, which raises a really important question for all of us, I think. In our own lives, how do we tell the difference between those genuine connections that last and the more superficial allegiances that just crumble under pressure?
It also really showcases our capacity as humans for resilience. The ability not just to redefine success after loss, but maybe even to elevate that definition.
Elevate, that's a good word for it.
It's a powerful reminder that sometimes letting go of what was even something you built with love and dedication actually opens the door to a greater, more profound purpose, a path you might never have found otherwise. The scars from betrayal don't have to define you, right? They can actually refine you, sharpen your focus on what truly matters.
And that refined purpose, as Hanshi demonstrates so clearly, isn't just about you. It's about continuing to serve others with the wisdom you gain from your trials, using your experience maybe as a kind of beacon for other people. His journey really shows that those internal principles he lived by, they were strong enough not just to help him survive the betrayal, but to actually transform it into fuel for an even wider, more impactful mission.
Hanshi Deena Naidu's journey from that deep betrayal to this renewed global purpose, it's just an incredibly compelling story of enduring faith and unwavering commitment. His guiding principles, that idea of surrendering while persevering, they really shine through as the key takeaways. So as you reflect on this deep dive, we want to leave you with this thought to mull over. How do you, in your own life, cultivate that kind of internal compass that Hanshi relied on when everything external seemed to be crumbling around him? And when you inevitably face profound disappointment or even betrayal, what specific internal principles can allow you not just to survive, but to emerge with an even clearer sense of your own purpose? Maybe even stronger, more focused, maybe more globally impactful than before? How can Hanshi Naidu's specific journey, that blend of surrendering while persevering, inspire your own resilience when your integrity gets questioned or your path forward just feels utterly unclear?